Were you just typing then while I was talking? I think you were. Did you type something into ChatGPT? What was it about? Did you do the time capsule?
Asking. Yeah, I was asking when the time capsule was going to be opened.
When is it?
All it said was, it said, do you love to travel?
Do you love road trips?
Do you love finding hidden treasures in towns all over the USA? Hi, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Craig. Welcome to Treasures of Our Town. It's the podcast that explores unique and charming towns scattered throughout the United States.
Guided by our love for location-based games like geocaching. Join us as we venture to some of the country's most intriguing destinations, uncovering hidden gems and local secrets along the way.
On today's episode, Josh, you can meet me in St. Louis.
Meet me in St. Louis, Louis. Meet me in St. Louis, Louis. That's a song. I don't think I was singing it right.
I don't think you ever sing it right. You sing it like Josh. So, but I knew I'd be able to entice you into a song somewhere or not. So
I know
exactly. I think, isn't it a movie as well? Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie. It's a song.
Mm-hmm.
It's a city.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything you want it to be.
Exactly.
And that's where we're going today.
But that's exactly right. That's where we're going today because I've spent the last 4 or 5 days in, is it St. Louis or St. Louis?
It's St. Louis.
It is St. Louis, but they say St. Louis.
It's St. Louis, but people can call it St. Louis.
Yeah, but I think the locals call it St. Louis as well. So, but that's where we're going today.
That's the proper name.
Exactly, and that's where we're going today because, as I said, I spent the last 4 or 5 days there, and I'm proud to say, Josh, that I took your advice, I took your tips from previous episodes, and I'll let you know very, very soon of how I enacted those tips from previous episodes, and really made my my trip to St. Louis extremely exciting, fun-filled, and filled full of fun and adventure. So very, very cool. But mate, before we start, as always, what have you been up to, buddy? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been just chilling up here in the Northland. We have bipolar weather, but we don't talk about the weather on this podcast, but it is a factor. And yeah, it is time for our upgrades and delays. If you've just tuned into us for the first time, Craig and I always talk about our upgrades and our delays.
Mm-hmm.
My upgrade was, get this, Craig, last weekend, I was invited to a brewery by our friend Mecca MN, Courtney, and Minnesota boy, Tim Larson. It was a brewery called Heavy Rotation, and it was themed, get this, themed record, themed, like music record theme.
Yes.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, we were there, and they were doing a fundraiser for like the fire department. And I walk in, and they give you a raffle ticket because there was a cover charge. Yeah. And guess what?
Oh,
we were having an old-fashioned meat raffle. Do you know what a meat raffle is?
Josh, you don't understand. Australian invented the meat raffle, and our meat raffle is a lot better than your meat raffle. I'll give you that hot tip right there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Our meat raffles they're not old fashioned. We have them weekly normally in our clubs and pubs in Australia, and they're always sponsored by the local butcher. And so the butcher will bring trays and trays of different slices and cuts of meat and steaks and sausages and all sorts and rissoles and raffle them off from there. So tell me, what was the sort of meat raffle like where you were?
That's the same thing. The same thing. A butcher. Yeah. Butcher donated all this meat to the fire department to raffle off. Yeah. And, you get a raffle ticket, you pay $5 and you're in the raffle. And they had steaks and they had pork chops. Mm-hmm. But I opted for the handmade beef sticks. Oh. They were fantastic because, I love putting beef sticks in my Bloody Marys. So that one, that's what enticed me. So, it's the simple things. That was my upgrade. And so get this. So I won the meat raffle, and then the lady came around. She's like, oh, you want to donate? You want to enter the raffle a little bit more? I was like, sure. So I gave her another $5 and I won a camp chair. Oh. I won a camping chair. So I was just a big winner last weekend.
Josh, if everyone knows you or sees you around, if you're ever at a geocaching event and there's a raffle or there's a competition or there's always something, Josh, you always come back with a prize of some sort. Always. Have you noticed that?
I'm a winner. I'm a winner.
You are. You're an absolute winner.
I don't think that's true. I just think people notice. because they know me, right?
No.
They just know, the geocaching vlogger, he won again because they're like, oh, he's here.
Yeah, no.
I just think it's because they know me. It's not because I actually win all the time.
No. I'm there with Minnesota Boy, myself and you, and you always come back with a prize, whereas Minnesota Boy and myself never do. So it's always you. So it's not just because who you are and you're well known. It's more the fact is that you always win everything. So, but well done to you, mate. So well done. Mate, my delays themselves, my ankle is still on the mend, but it's still not right. I've still got it strapped up as we speak, and it's coming up to 2 weeks. 2 weeks now since it actually happened. So it's still painful. It still throbs a little bit. It's gone down to the heel a little bit now. The bruising's still there. It's still swollen a little bit here and there too. I've got to be careful. I don't drive. Obviously, it's my left foot, so it's not my driving foot. Thank goodness.
Oh, that's nice.
But whenever I stop now as well, I'll make ssure I jump in my passenger seat because it's a swivel seat. I swivel the passenger seat around and then put my foot up on the driver's seat to keep it elevated. I got a nice ice pack as well. Sometimes when it gets too like throbby, I'll put an ice pack on it too. So that's my delays, Josh. They're still on the mend, but my upgrade outweighs my delays.
Though. Is it getting better?
Yes, it is.
Is it getting better, Craig?
It is getting better. It is slowly getting better. I'm not limping as much now, so I still feel it, and I still every now and then I can't walk on uneven ground, for instance, because my ankle doesn't like different levels, you know. But yeah, apart from that, it is getting better. But my upgrade, Josh, is, guess what? Yeah. My upgrade is going to be this entire episode is going to be my upgrade. So I can't talk about my upgrade because I'm going to spend the next, 40 minutes talking about my upgrades. So
perfect. That's exciting. And I'll just say my delay is that I was not with you in St. Louis to experience all this cool stuff.
True.
I haven't spent significant time in St. Louis. I checked in 11 years, Greg. It's been a long time because the last time I was there was in 2014. I was there for Geo Woodstock when it was there. And I experienced a few of the things that you experienced, not all the things. And I experienced a couple of things that you don't have listed here. So we will talk about it. I have experience of St. Louis, but you have it fresh in your mind as you just experienced it this weekend. Yeah. And that's my delay. It's like a lot of times, most of the times on this podcast, we have both experienced wherever we're going together. Yeah. Today, I get to be the interviewer.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You get to pick my brain and just be gentle with it because it's very, very small. But anyway, that rolls in, Josh, to our St. Louis. That's what we're talking about today, all about St. Louis in Missouri itself, and we'll go from there. Now, before we start, though, Josh, as I said before, I was guided by you only a few episodes ago, and remember you said when you did your trip up north with Reese, your daughter, and you said you used ChatGPT to utilize its knowledge, its wealth of knowledge in regards to the best place to eat, the best place to sleep, the best place for this, the best place for that. That's what I did, Josh. I enacted ChatGPT, and I put in the exact prompts. I said, I want to be in St. Louis from this date to this date. I like to geocache, so give me high favorited geocache locations. Adventure labs are included as well. I want to do a tourist sort of style. I want to have some nice meals as well, so I put nice meals there too. And I wanted to have one high-end meal, just a high-end one.
Nice.
Because it was my birthday, Josh. That's what I was actually there for.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you.
Are you going to tell the people which one it was?
50.
That's a big one. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That should be celebrated. That's nothing to be embarrassed about. You should be proud.
Yeah.
You should be proud of your birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a rare thing these days.
That's a rare thing for me because I've never celebrated a birthday ever before, a milestone birthday ever before. So it's very rare for me. But no, I acted in ChatGPT, Josh. So what do you think it came out with?
I bet it did a very good job of giving you a great itinerary.
It did.
And let's just say ChatGPT, oh my God, AI, Craig, it is getting so good. As of recent, there's been some upgrades to ChatGPT. I have now the paid version. I've been having a lot of fun. I've been sending you photos, and I was like, "Make me a cartoon. Make Craig a cartoon. Put me on a Pokemon card." Like I just been having so much fun with it, And it's no surprise. It's just getting better and better. It's getting smarter and smarter.
Yeah.
And I bet it did a fantastic job guiding you around St. Louis.
It did. And I also put in as well. And the more information you put into this thing, you can understand, the better it's going to job it's going to do. So I gave it the dates that I was going to be there. I gave it roughly what I wanted to do. As I said, geocaching, adventure labs, that sort of thing, and dinner. And I even said it's going to be my 50th birthday. Like on the Monday is my 50th birthday. So it did my whole list of an itinerary, and we're going to go through some of the things that actually put in my itinerary. But because I said it's my 50th as well, it gave me age-related things to do. So it didn't give me all the, but I also put in the fact that I wanted to do other things as well, like skydive, stuff like that too. So that's really cool. So yeah, we'll get into it from there. But the first thing we did, Josh, is that I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit, something you wouldn't ordinarily do, because I got in there on the Saturday, and checked into the hotel. By the way, hotel beautiful, the Wildwood Hotel it's called, and big, beautiful. Cause you know me, my bath, Josh. Everyone knows.
A nice bath. Was it a bath or a hot tub?
It was
bath or hot tub.
It was a spa. An actual spa, big spa. I was like,
you gotta love that. Right in the room, right next to the bed.
That's exactly. You go from the bed and soaking in a nice hot bath in the spa itself, and then jump straight into bed. It was so nice. So yeah, stayed there for the few nights as well. But I drove down to the Mississippi River. And along the Mississippi River is the Skyline dinner cruise. Have you seen those at all, Josh?
Yeah, I've been on some of those Mississippi paddle boats. They're awesome. They're really cool. Some of them just have tours. Others, they have pizza night. Others have really nice dinners. I have done those before up in La Crosse, Wisconsin. They have the La Crosse Queen. So a lot of these cities along the Mississippi, they have these really cool paddle boats. They look right out of a Mark Twain book.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to do it as well. I mean, unfortunately for me, on the Saturday, or the Friday, Saturday, was big thunderstorms and a lot of rain as well. And they had a lot of rain, to the point where there was a lot of flooding along the Mississippi over the last few days. And there was a lot of debris coming down and around. And I thought to myself, I even messaged them saying, is it still going to be on? Because I didn't know whether the debris was going to stop the paddle boats or not. But nope, it doesn't stop the paddle boats. They just chunk through the whole big logs that are floating down the river. So Skyline dinner cruise along the Mississippi River, paddle wheel throwback vibes, as a replica for the paddle wheels as well. Like 1800s steamboat sort of feel, as you said, Mark Twain, but it still had some nice modern cocktails and nice air conditioning. Nice. We jumped on, started having dinner. And a beautiful dinner as well, quite a nice dinner, which you select beforehand as well. So you pre-select your meals, and nice. It goes off the edge, and straight away as we go past the big arch, the Gateway Arch, and that's what St. Louis is known for, is the Gateway Arch. It was all lit up of a night. The Gateway Arch.
It's the gateway to the west.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
St. Louis is kind of known to, like, this is where the West begins. Right?
Oh,
That's what it represents. St. Louis is the Gateway Arch. Is like, okay, now the West begins.
Yep. Live entertainment on board. They had a full DJ with some great tunes as well. And I will say, Josh, I was turning 50, so I'm of that age whereby I don't listen to like all the new stuff. So it was a throwback. There was some Jackson 5, Josh. There was some old school Michael Jackson, some Janet Jackson. There's all those sort of feels as well. And then every now and then he comes in like, Who Let the Dogs Out? Who. And people were singing along. Some people even got up and danced. Fun. So it was lots of fun on board with that. As I said before, the food was delicious. There was either seafood, chicken, steak, all the different types of food as well. And it's just for me, Josh, it's like you're floating on history, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yes. That old sort of style, like it's so unique. And I've seen it in so many movies, even coming from Australia. So to actually be able to get on that steamboat sort of style and paddle wheel and go up the Mississippi River and then back down again and then back up again, because that's where you go. You go back up against the current. You float down with the current, and you go past where the dock, and then you turn around and come back up the current again. So that's how it works. It's beautiful. Cool. Yeah, really cool.
How much did it cost, Craig? How much was it for the dinner and the cruise?
So it's all inclusive, and it's $65 for dinner and cruise. So
oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's
$65.
A really good deal.
That's it. Great deal.
That's solid.
Obviously, the drinks are separate as well, so you pay for the drinks as you drink them as well. I had to get They had to get the riverboat iced tea. Spiked iced tea. It was absolutely delicious, really good. It had some nice rum in it too, so that was delicious. Because you get to keep the glass. You actually keep the glass, so it's a souvenir. So so it's really nice. But $65 deal. It was a deal.
That's a really good deal. How, was it a couple hours? 3 hours? How long was it?
Yep, 2.5 hours in total. 2.5 hours in total. Yep, nice. Yep. And it was a 3-course meal. So you had your salad to begin with, you had your main course, and then a delicious dessert of cheesecake at the end as well. So with a raspberry jus. So, but we'll get to more important food later on. I'll tell you that, because this place that I went to for the high end food, Josh, it was high end food. So
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear that. You were mentioning, Craig, about history. One of the things, a big part of American history in St. Louis is it is the gateway to the West. And I believe just north of there, this area is where the Missouri River and the Mississippi kind of meet. And so this is where the Missouri River started. And this is where Lewis and Clark in St. Charles, just north, I believe, of St. Louis, Lewis and Clark started their journey exploring the West, and they went right up the Mississippi River to the west. So there's significant history here, and there's a big statue of Lewis and Clark as they're setting out on their journey. If you know any history about Lewis and Clark, so it's appropriate that you started with a paddle wheel and history vibes and who let the dogs out. Ooh.
Exactly. It was great. It was fantastic. But luckily for us as well, that it's still cloudy the next day. So it was the next day I was supposed to do the skydiving the next day, but they called and they said, no, it's too cloudy. There's whatever. It was off and on rain. We don't want you hanging around here on the off chance, and then we say, no, we can't fly. We can't, skydive today. So they rebooked me for the Monday, and all I did was I swapped my days around on the itinerary for ChatGPT. So instead of what I was doing on Monday, I then did on Sunday. Sunday, I did the Monday. Wow. Easy, see? Easy. It wasn't hard at all.
Tells you what to do.
Exactly.
You don't need a brain.
No, it just tells you what to do. So it was perfect. So the next day, we actually did the Gateway Arch itself. If you don't know what
it's a must do.
It's a must do. It's a must do.
You gotta.
Recently, it's changed to a national park, and it is currently now the USA's smallest national park by miles and miles and miles. So it is actually the smallest national park in the US. So it's very, very cool.
Yes.
The tallest monument, Josh, in the US. So that's really cool.
The tallest monument in the US.
Yeah, 630 feet tall. But one of the best things about this, and that is, you look at it and you've seen photos. Everyone's seen photos of this thing, right? It is huge. It's ginormous. And you think, it is a full arch, but it's an optical illusion. It's 630 feet in height. It's 630 feet in width, Josh. It's not an arch. It's actually a circle. It's actually a circle. Oh. Yes. Oh. And that really did surprise me when learning that too. So
wait. From each end of the arch, from end to end, if you lay it on the ground, if you measure from end to end,
no,
600.
No, from the ground. So it's the same height from the ground. So the diameter, the diameter of the height. So it is still an arch. The diameter of the height is the same as the width of it around, like from the side, if that makes sense.
That's what I think. Yes. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
The width is the same as the height.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. That tells you how huge. That's huge.
It is.
I get what you're saying. So it's like it's a true almost half circle.
Yes,
basically what you're saying.
Exactly. But
interesting. Yeah.
But it makes full sense. I mean, you look at it and you think, wow. But the best part is, Josh, is that you can go inside and you can go up the arch.
I know. It's like it's like getting into I don't know if it's changed, but when I went, it's like getting into a washing machine.
Oh, it is still the same.
Dryer.
It's still the same. You get into the dryer. Yep, exactly. Still the same. No different. And what I liked about it as well is you're sitting there waiting to go into these lifts or these elevator, and it shows you how they created the elevator system as you're waiting for the elevator itself, which is really, really significant because at the time because we're talking, was it 1947? When the original design came out in 1947, we're talking back then, they were looking about just like an elevator style, and they looked like a Ferris wheel style, and then they end up coming up with both elevator and Ferris wheel combined, so you could actually stay balanced, stay upright, so you're not on an angle, but still go around the semicircle sort of area, so you can still go on an angle. So it was very interesting, But very much like a washing
really
machine
fascinating.
or a dryer.
It's not like a true, it's not like a true elevator because it's going up it's going up kind of, I don't know, how do you say it, like diagonally, kind of.
Yeah, but it rolls up. It basically rolls up because you're not even going straight diagonally. You go straight up slightly and then it bends. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's fascinating that they figured it out. And I remember when you get up there, there's not a lot of room up there for a lot of people. It's pretty small area to walk around up there, and small windows to look out. But you went up there. What time were you up there? Was it a pretty time?
Yes, 10:30 in the morning. So, and by that time, as we got up to the top as well, the clouds had all lifted and gone. It was a blue sky. The sun was shining. I actually put a nice photo on my my personal Instagram account today as we speak. So, when I was down the bottom, I looked up as I was walking around. I looked up and I went, "Oh wow!" I just saw the lines. I saw the sun poking through. I'm like, "Yep." So, snapped a quick photo as well from there. When you're up the top as well, there is a virtual cache, but you don't need to go up the top for the virtual cache. You can stay at the bottom because it does cost money to go up.
Right.
But if you're there, pay the money.
You got to go up.
You got to go up.
Yeah.
You got to do these things. It's
it's a very old virtual, highly favorited. I remember when I did it, you had to answer like several questions kind of around the arch. Is that still? Yeah.
No, it's only like 2 or 3 questions now on the plaque in front of it. So there's a plaque in front of it. You have to answer. That's all it is. So it's pretty simple to do. As I said, you don't need to go up, but if you're there, you got to do it, Josh. You have to go up. You have to go up. So it was really cool.
No, you said it was a national park. I remember going underneath it.
Yes.
When you're going underneath, there's a really cool museum down there with a film and a bunch of, you can't miss the museum. I believe it's all free too, because it's not free. The museum's not free.
Yeah, no, all the museum and all that downstairs is all free. So as soon as you can go in, you can go in for free, but you can't go up in the elevators unless you pay the $10.50 or whatever it is. So
but you have to go down.
Yes,
you have to go down into the museum to get into the thing to go up the arch.
Correct.
But the museum is cool. There was like a film. It tells you all about the arch, and I think it probably tells history of Lewis and Clark. There's some. It's really cool down there. Yeah. It's worth checking out the museum too if you have time.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Make sure you spend some time down there. You can either do it because you got to book your time frames to go up the arch, because as you can understand, they can only have a certain amount of people up there at a certain time, and you are timed when you're up there as well. So you've got to go up, and then you spend as much as time as it takes for the elevators to go back down. I think it's a 12-minute window in total. So the elevators go back down, pick up the next bunch, and as they bring them up, then as they come out, you go back in and you go down. So that's the way it works. But these little windows up the top that you look out of, you bend over and look out of, and the windows, Josh, the windows are angled down, so you can literally, if you bend down properly and look out over the windows, you're looking directly down at the ground, like you could actually fall out of the window. So
I know, if you're afraid of heights, this would get your heart going.
It would.
I remember that.
But they are small windows. You're not walking on glass like you have in other places. You know what I mean? Like in Chicago and stuff as well, where you can walk on the glass. Like you're walking over people and stuff too. But no, none of that. It is quite small up there. But as I said, it's a must-do, Josh. So it's absolutely must-do.
Can't miss that.
As I said, it was designed by Euro Sarin. I think it's called, I butchered his name, but 1947, he designed it himself. There was 172 entries for the design, and he ended up winning itself. It then took 2.5 years to build, from 1963 to 1965. But one thing I like, Josh, as well, it's built to withstand earthquakes and wind, and so it actually sways up to 18 inches in high wind and can handle an 8 magnitude earthquake. Wow.
Yikes. Wow. I don't think St. Louis gets very many earthquakes either, but
it
good idea
wind.
Just in case.
It gets wind.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
Oh, it gets wind.
I believe it. Yes.
It gets the wind.
It's way up there. Yes.
Exactly. Made of stainless steel and concrete. As I said, it's the world's tallest stainless steel structure as well. Huh. So that's pretty cool as well.
That's cool.
As I said, you can ride to the top. And as it's now part of the national parks from 2018. So when you were there, it wasn't part of the national park system, but now it is part of the national parks. And Josh, as we like geocachers alike, I've got a national park passport. And when you go to national parks, you can stamp your passport to say that you were there at a certain date.
Cool. I love that.
It's got the stamp. It's got the stamp downstairs in the museum where you can stamp your passport. So,
have you been stamping those? Do you have that? Have you been stamping those national parks yourself?
I did. I just started. I just started.
You just started. Okay.
I should have started 3.5 years ago when I started actually doing my travels, but I didn't actually do it.
Oh, yeah, that's one of those things because you're like, you go there, right? And you're like, oh, that's so cool. There's a stamp thing. But then you're like, oh, man, I've already been to 5. I'm already behind, so I'm not going to do it. But you got to start.
You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. But what I like as well is that you can actually get the other passport. And there's another passport you get where you don't use the stamps and you use stickers. And it's like an honor system instead. So you buy the stickers themselves and put the stickers in the sticker book, you see. So if you've been to 5 or 6 before, you can then buy the stickers online, through Amazon or whatever, and update your book to say what you've been to and which ones you've done. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One more thing about
that's
this,
a good
Josh.
tip. That's cool. It's on your honor, right? You're not competing against anybody.
No. So. You're really not. You're not going to get if you get all the stamps, if you get all the stickers in your book. Who's going to care apart from yourself, to be honest?
Yeah.
Like, nobody.
Right.
Good for you.
It's not like geocaching.
No.
Yeah, it's not like geocaching. People are going to look at your stats. You didn't go to that park.
You didn't sign that log. Look, where's the date on that logbook? You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Yeah. No signature. You weren't there.
Yeah, exactly. No, you can't just. You had no pen. There's no excuse, especially for you. But one more thing, Josh, and that is there's a buried time capsule below the base itself. It was sealed in 1965. But this is my favorite part. The actual time capsule contains signatures from over 750,000 school children. Yeah.
Wow.
So 750,000 school children signed this time capsule that's been buried under there in 1965. Don't ask me when it's going to be open, but that's where it is.
You should ask ChatGPT.
I should have asked ChatGPT. I didn't even think about it. So that was the arch, Josh, as well. So as you said before, you've been there. You've been there?
Yes, I've been there. Yep, I was there 11 years ago.
Did you do the cache while you were there?
It's cool.
Did you do the virtual?
I did the cache.
Of course.
Yes, I did the virtual.
Well, there's plenty of adventure labs around the area now as well. So there's yes. So because it's a major city, so you're not going to find that many actual containers, like actual physical caches themselves. So this one here has a lot of adventure labs instead. So that's really, really cool. Were you just typing then while I was talking? I think you were. Did you type something into ChatGPT? What was it about? Did you do the time capsule?
Asking. Yeah, I was asking when the time capsule was going to be opened.
When is it?
All it said was, not the foreseeable future. Oh. It didn't know. It didn't know, or they don't have a date for it.
They don't have an end date for it. They mustn't have an end date. Exactly. No end date for it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. All right, mate. Moving.
So,
yes.
This next thing, Craig, this is one of my regrets. I really would. I wish I would have spent time to visit here because I have heard this is one of the best. This is one of the best places to visit in St. Louis, and you know how I love a good museum, and this one's a very unique, super fun museum. I heard this playground, art playground. Tell them about it. Tell us all about the City Museum.
City Museum. So when I looked into ChatGPT and I gave it all my information and all the way through, it told me to visit the City Museum. And I was thinking to myself, it's just a city museum. These things must have some artwork there. It's got some monument details there. It might have some history stuff there as well, but no, alas, definitely not. It doesn't have any of that itself. The City Museum, it's done by Bob Casserly, his name is, and a team. They transformed a former shoe factory, and I'm talking 10-story high shoe factory. They transformed it into one of the most unique museums in the entire world. The art, and the philosophy is that the art meets the playground. And we went there, and I'm like, hang on a second, what's going on here? I drove in and looked at the parking lot, and there's kids walking over the top of my head, 6 stories in the air, via these circular cylindrical gates and meshes and, metal containers, and they're going from, there's even a plane stuck in the middle of the air in between. And these kids are climbing through this plane and then back out from the tail end of the plane and then down itself and through a little train system and whatnot. Helicopters are up there as well. There's a school bus hanging halfway off the roof, Josh. And I just looked at this place. And, Josh, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I looked and I looked up and I saw it all happening and I went, Josh would love this. Josh would be in his absolute heaven right here already.
It's so playful. It looks like something that Pee-wee's Playhouse or something. Just like it's, and all this like stuff. It's like this like play area. It's outside, and it goes from inside the building outside the building.
Yes.
With this, you're right. A plane sticking, and there's a bus. It's just so stinking cool. And I see a Ferris wheel. And wow.
Yeah.
How fun.
Absolutely incredible.
That's really cool.
But the best thing is when you go in and you buy your tickets and you go through, they're kids galore. I'm talking everywhere. There was families everywhere. This here is a family heaven. If you're there with younger kids anywhere, I'm going to say younger kids, anywhere from 5 up, Josh, and even to the teenagers. Teenagers were there too, and teenagers were giggling like they were 5 again. That's how good it was. That's how really good it was. Yes. There's one area where there's all man-made caves, tunnels, kids and their fathers were playing in the tunnels, and this one, all of a sudden, Josh, I'm walking along and I heard this noise directly above my right-hand side of my head because I'm just ducking under something. And it's this random father who's on his stomach climbing through a makeshift cave, and there's a hole in the cave, and he's looked at me and we made eye contact. Within 3 inches of each other, Josh, we made eye contact, and I went, "Oh, g'day, mate." And he's like, "Hi." It's incredible. But you go down to this network of caves. There is no way signs. So there's no arrows around, no exit signs. Once you go in, it's hard to get back out. Warning. It is hard to get back. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're doing. You can slowly climb.
Are you crawling around? Are you crawling around on your hands and knees, or is it bigger than that?
It's both. It's both. So there's a bigger component. So I never went into the smaller areas because you can look. I look in a small crack, for instance. There's random cracks in the wall. It looks real, like a real cave. It is cold to touch. It looks like real stone, and there's like a small crack in the wall. And I look in it. As I look in it, I see a body go past, as crawling past, like in this crack. I'm like, someone was in there, some kid's in there crawling past. It's an actual cave, There you can crawl around in those small sections. People sometimes get stuck, so they have to back out. You become very friendly with people around you, so to speak, as well. Because
I'm sure.
Because some people are coming down, others are going up at the same time. There's no arrows around. You just walk wherever you want to walk. But once you get to the top of this cave system, it's 6 stories high. There is now after that, those circle slides, the ones that go around and they come down at the same time. There's one of those all the way down the middle, Josh, and so you can get onto this circle slide. There's no attendance there. There's no people. There's no staff. You just play as you wish to play, like a normal free play like a normal kid in a schoolyard. And next minute you hear, and you as you're walking around, and you hear like a father go, "Oh yeah," like screaming as he as he's coming down the slide, and then you hear this little squeaky sound, and it's a kid running after him, sort of thing too. So it's a 6-story cylindrical slide all the way down to the bottom. So yeah, that's the best way to do it. But absolutely incredible.
So it's considered really like a children's museum, but let's be honest, it sounds like it's for the young at heart as well.
Yes.
Like it's very adult friendly. I mean, you went there without kids. And you had a good time.
Exactly. So. I had a blast, mate. I had an absolute blast. Because, that was just the first part that I went into was the caving section. That's just one component. After that, you've got 4 separate floors of different locations and actual real museum things as well. So it's not just all play. When I say actual real museum things, we're talking about, I can't even think of the name, Josh, but when it comes to all the insects and the bugs and and they're all on pins, on pin boards, and they're all under glass, and you can go and look around all the different bees and the different flies and all. it's all that as well. So that's in one area, in one room. So you can go around and have a look at that. Neat. You see, so there's real museum stuff there too. Even architectural museum places as well. So which is really cool. Things that have been built 200 years ago, and they've got them hanging on the walls as architectural masterpieces from old buildings that was deconstructed years ago. So all that
is that one of the themes of the museum is architecture? Like, yes. Is that part of the theme of the? Okay,
yeah. They've got all different themes itself. In different rooms, there's different themes. Different levels, there's different themes as well. So they've even got one for like a water theme, a nautical theme, whereby, Josh, you wash your hands first. And then you go around this little water tank area with all these little fish, and you put your hand in the water tank, and all the fish come up and they suckle. No, they suckle onto your they bite and suck onto your fingers, and they get all the little bits of skin and stuff off your fingers and little particles off your fingers. So
I've done that. I've done a foot spa like that in Germany.
Oh yes, yeah.
Where you put they eat all the calluses off your feet.
Yep. No, this was just for the hands, for this one. So that was really cool. But I do think the exhibits change. These types of like the room exhibits change quite often as well, and it's different in every location. But Josh, I really enjoyed it. There's obviously a cafe there as well, so you can grab something to eat, grab something to drink. But the amount of times I heard parents just saying to their kids, "Hey, Josh," just yelling for their kids, and then you hear the kid go, "I'm over here," like it's very much a place where you would lose your kids quite easily. So you're gonna have.
But that's okay. It's okay that you lose them because then it's fun.
It's fun. It's more fun. The kids are having more fun. And as I said before, there were teenagers in there as well, and the teenagers were giggling as well doing it. And the teenagers and the young kids alike, they were getting along, you know what I mean? They weren't too cool for school, that sort of stuff as well. So that's really cool. But what I love, Josh, about the outside area is that they're repurposing all the industrial art. So we're talking, as I said before, school buses and planes and helicopters, all these different repurposed things that would normally just go to a scrapyard, they've got, and now they're part of the industrial art out the front, around, up the top, in and out of the actual building itself as well. So that's really cool too. So they do have a museum after dark where this here is not for families. It's 21 and over because there's alcohol involved as well. Didn't go to that one. It was starting to rain and stuff as well. So we finished up there. So that was really cool. Really, really cool. And it says, is it kid heaven or an adult wonderland? You have to find out for yourself. So... But yeah, you haven't been to this one, Josh. You haven't been there.
I haven't been to this one. I regret it. So this is for our geocaching listeners. Mm-hmm. Geo Coin Fest was in St. Louis at the city. The Coin Fest was at that museum in 2016. Wow. What an awesome location for a geocaching event.
That's
what you think?
It is absolutely brilliant location. They did have a big area room for private functions. So there must have been that private function room. I think so. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I really like that idea.
That's really cool. Were there dinosaur bones there?
No, not when I was there. There's not when I was there. There's no dinosaur bones. There's fake ones. So there's fake dinosaur bones, and there's fake things that they've made, and like you slide down. They made slides out of them, and there's like dinosaur bones in the caves, but they're all fake. They're not real. They're not real. Yeah.
The reason I asked that is because somebody gifted me a geocoin from that Geocoin Fest, and it was like a dinosaur head sort of thing. Yeah. To signify that it was at that museum. So that's why I was wondering if there must be part of the
it's part of the exhibit.
Fake ones in the cave.
Yeah, all the fake ones, because you can slide like through the Triceratops's mouth or whatever it's called, like as you come down Tyrannosaurus Rex's mouth, you slide through it, that sort of stuff. So that's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. And I will say it's very dark in there and dingy too, so photographs aren't that good, which is good because obviously a lot of kids around too. So I never had my phone out at all. I didn't do any of that. And again, I thought of you, thinking to myself, how would Josh document this? You would want to make a TikTok out of it, 100% at least minimum. You'd want a TikTok out of it. And I thought to myself, well,
you didn't.
There'd be different parts where you could say, do different videos in different locations. So, but that's also pretty cool. And as I said, when ChatGPT gave it to me, I thought to myself, "Oh, this is just a number, a basic museum." How wrong was I?
Yeah.
How wrong was I?
Yeah.
ChatGPT for the win on that one. So.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I really want to visit this place. This is certainly, I would say, my number one destination. After you've done the arch, you got to do this.
Yes.
This is like the next thing,
exactly.
I think, based on what I've heard, what other people have said about it.
Exactly. So that was on the Sunday. On the Monday rolled around, Josh. The Monday was my actual birthday. My actual 50th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Was on the Monday. So years and years ago, I always wanted to go. I've been skydiving before, twice before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I've been skydiving twice before, but I was talking to my kids, back when I first started geocaching, and I was going through some problems and stuff as well with my ex-wife at the time, and all that sort of things. Anyway, I said to my kids, 2025 is a big year because in Australia, 18, and you can start drinking at 18, you become an adult at 18. So 2025, I turned 50, my son turns 18, and my daughter turns 21, all in this year, 2025.
Oh, wow.
And so I made a pact with my kids at that point in time to say to them in 2025, we're going to go skydiving, you see, together.
Okay.
Now, unfortunate circumstances have arisen whereby I'm no longer in contact with them as such for the time being. But I thought to myself, that's not going to stop me. Promises made, promises kept. And so that's the reason why I wanted to go skydiving for my 50th birthday, is because I made that promise to them back years and years ago. So, and that's what I did, Josh. I found Skydive St. Louis.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Is there something special about Skydive St. Louis?
It really is.
Because you've done it before. Tell me what's special about it.
The difference is Skydive. It was very unique in terms of it's a smaller sort of company. So it was only like myself and another person in the plane with our two instructors and then the pilot. I was sitting directly next to the pilot the whole time with my legs like over the engine bay the whole time. It's a really small Cessna plane with no seats in it, so you're sitting on the ground the whole time. And then, as always, my instructor sort of, sits up behind me, and clips in, and it does all these checks and triple checks and double checks and all that sort of stuff as well. Gives me the whole rundown, the spiel, what I need to do, which I knew what to do from the first few times. And then, they open up the door. You put your feet out the door, and there's the winds blowing all around, and you're like, here we go. And he just literally just like jump out. So you fall. You don't jump, you fall. So you fall out. You do. If people have you skydived before, Josh, at all? Have you?
I have not. I've never done that before.
Oh, Josh, would you skydive?
Reese has done it.
Reese has done it. Would you skydive, Josh?
Yeah. I would try anything once. I have a tattoo that says "Just try it."
Just try it. That's what I thought.
If anybody says, Josh, come on, you should skydive, I'd say, I'll try it. Yeah, I'll try it. I'll do it at least once.
Just try it.
Yeah, exactly. I would try it sometime. Reese did it for her 18th birthday.
Oh.
And her feedback was it didn't, and I don't know, I haven't done it before. You have done it now a couple times. She said it didn't feel real.
No.
Like it didn't feel like, it doesn't feel like you're falling. No. It just kind of feels like you're
flying,
suspended in air.
Yes.
Yeah, you're suspended.
Yes. And the reason for it, because I've done skydiving a few times. I've done bungee jumping as well. Bungee jumping is a lot scarier because you have reference points of your fall, so you can actually see the rocks going past your head and stuff like that too. So you got that fall,
and you see the ground coming right towards
you. But when you're so many thousands of feet up in the air, you don't see the ground coming towards you, so you don't have that fall feeling. You do initially for the first split second as you roll out of the plane. You have that like whoa, that whoa, let go moment where you're not touching anything. And then once you arch your back itself and you're in the free fall component, it's just like your wind is blowing your face and you're suspended in mid air. It feels like, it doesn't feel like falling at all. You can look around, you see the views, they're gorgeous. You still got that feeling. And then when the ripcord is pulled, and you get that big rush, straight back up. I was really excited because my instructor was really, really cool. And he said to me, do you want to fly some of this? I'm like, absolutely. So he gave me the handles a few times there, and he's telling me what to do. You put one handle down really, really tight, and you do like a full spiral circle, and then you literally pull that one,
cool.
like let that one go real quick, and then pull the other one down, and you spiral the other way, and then you pull them both down at the same time, and it sort of pulls you up. And then if you let them go quick, you get like a 0G feeling. So like that floating feeling where you have 0G. So it's almost like you're in, for that split second, you're in outer space feeling. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Reese did say when the chute came out, that was actually more fun for her than the free fall.
Yeah, and exactly right, because you got four components. You got the initial fall, you got the free fall, you've got the parachute component, and then you got the landing part as well. So there's those four components are what sort of what signifies the actual feeling of it too. Yeah. It's, Josh, I'm telling you that my last one before this one was over 25 years ago. Was the last time I did it.
Oh wow!
It feels exactly the same. There's no difference. All the feelings came back. Everything came back. So,
is there an anxiety in the free fall until that chute opens up? Just a slight anxiety, like
no.
Is the back of your mind's like? Your mind is like, what if the chute doesn't open?
No, because you're too busy. You're not even thinking about the chute. You're there just experiencing the moment right there. And in those seconds, that's all you're experiencing. Josh, you fall at 150 miles per hour.
Oh, my God.
So you're traveling at 150 miles per hour with nothing. No motor, no engine, no car, nothing at all. And that's what your speed you're traveling at. So, but you don't know that you're traveling at that speed. You can't feel it. You know what I mean? There's no reference point.
So how long are you free falling?
So you
how many seconds?
Yeah, you free fall for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, which is
it's still a long 30
seconds. It's still a long time. So, but it's such a wonderful feeling that it's just the weightlessness, you know what I mean? That sort of thing too.
All right.
But what I loved as well, and I didn't know this until I went there, and that is, Josh, did you know the very first parachute jump in history took place in St. Louis?
Wow.
Yes, ever in the world.
History.
Yeah. In 1912, the first ever parachute jump from an airplane occurred at Jefferson Barracks in St. Louis during a World Fair event. This historic leap marked the beginning of modern skydiving. So, but
there's your fun fact for the day. You learned something, people.
Exactly.
On the Toot podcast.
The treasures of our town / cities. Exactly. I will say, Josh, if ever you're in any area, whatever it might be, if you are thinking about skydiving, just do it. You know, like your tattoo says, Josh. Just get to it. Just do it. Don't live life with regrets.
How do you choose a skydiving company? How do you know that they've got all their stuff together to make sure it's safe? And like, how do you look at the Google reviews? How do you?
So it's not really about safety, because they're all stringent controlled by regulations, you know what I mean, government regulations. So it's not necessarily about safety, but it is about customer experience. So what I would do, if you're in your area and you've got 2 or 3 skydive locations, have a look at their Google reviews. Just go through, which one's got the highest Google reviews, which one's got the lowest, which one, and what the reviewer people tell you about. So some people will say, oh, I love skydive. The skydive felt fantastic, but the instructor wasn't forthcoming with information or wasn't friendly, that sort of thing. So the skydive itself is always going to be the same feeling. That's not going to change. What's going to change for you is your experience with the actual company. So how you feel, how they make you feel. If you're excited, if you're nervous, they might help you with the excitement. They might ease your nerves slightly beforehand, things like that too. So yeah.
How much does it cost nowadays per person to skydive?
So you're looking at around the $350 mark to skydive, but that's
that's more than I thought.
Oh yeah. No, it's still pricey, especially because for this one here, there was only 2 of us in the airplane. So they do a full airplane ascent and descent, and you're paying for the obviously tandem instructors as well. You're paying for the insurance and that sort of stuff as well. But what I would say, and that is, get the full package. When I say full package, I'm talking about the media package. So there's the instructors have all got little GoPros on their wrists and stuff as well.
Yep.
You can go for the smaller package, which just comes with photos. That's boring. You got to get the main package because they do full interviews with you as well beforehand, during.
Oh, cool.
They do it to music for you. It's all cut, ready to go, and edited, so you don't even have to do any edits, and just chuck it on social media. And for me, though, Josh, what it does when you get the media package, It lets you watch it, and each time you watch it, you get that same feeling. You get that same tingles. You get those same goosebumps. And then depends on what song they put with it. So you know the Verve Bittersweet Symphony years and years ago. That was the first ever. That was the first ever song. Was on my first video of my first skydive. I watched it that many times, Josh, that today, even today, if I hear that song on the radio, I get that feeling of skydiving. I get that. My mind goes back. It's like the Pavlov's dog. My mind goes back to the time when I just felt so free, so weightless, so nothing else mattered apart from me just falling out of the sky. So, but yeah, I say get the main package as well. So that main package pumps it up a little bit. In total, it was around the $475 mark, including the full package.
Yeah.
So it is a bit pricey, but well worth it. Well worth it.
It's often like a once in a lifetime, or in your case, a twice in a lifetime experience.
Third time, third time lucky for me.
The next one you're doing when you're 75. That's the next one you got to do. 25, 50, 75,
exactly.
100.
Yeah, that's right. I will say this is not family friendly, but my grandmother, before she passed away, God rest her soul, she went skydiving. We took her skydiving for her 70th birthday. So her 70th birthday, she went skydiving.
Wow.
She was with an instructor, and we had a video with the person with her as well. She landed. The video guy come up to her and asked us, how it was, how the whole skydive was. She looked directly into the camera and she said, "I've never had 6 orgasms in one jump in all my life." That's from my 70-year-old grandmother. I did warn you, it wasn't family friendly, but that's the way she was, And Josh, I told that story at her funeral as well when I did the eulogy.
Oh my God! And I bet you got a big laugh.
A big laugh. Like she's an incredible woman. She was an incredible woman, and yeah, my heart goes out to her. But yeah, so that's what it does, though, Josh. It brings out the best in everyone. Mm-hmm. As I said, just do it. Just once in your life, just do it. Just do it. Okay. Even if you've done,
I'm sold.
Even if you do it and it scares the hell out of you, and you're like, "I'm never doing that again. That was so terrible, terrifying. I hated it." At least you've done it. You see. So that's my saying. That's my saying. So there we go. Moving on, Josh. After that, of course, I'm going to be quick with this one to a certain degree. But I asked ChatGPT, and I told this as well to the restaurant. I asked ChatGPT. I said, "I want a fancy dinner, a real nice fancy dinner. For my 50th birthday, I want a fancy meal at a location in St. Louis. Give me the best one you have." If people don't know what ChatGPT does, it goes through the Google reviews. It goes through the Yelp reviews. It goes through all the different review apps that are available and the restaurant review apps and all of them itself. It collates it all together. It goes through the Michelin stars. It gave me The Crossing in St. Louis. It's called The Crossing. We went there, and I said, my name, booked a table, said my name, and they're like, "Yep, come through." Josh, they had a birthday card on the table for me because it was my 50th.
Oh, perfect.
So they already had a birthday card on the table. Candles were there, delicious meals. He came out. The waiter was a brilliant waiter as well. Got my bottle of wine. And when he did the whole, I'm not sure. Have you done many fancy meals, Josh? Where the waiter serves you?
I've done my fair share.
You do the whole,
when multi-course.
It's the multi-course stuff. You do the whole he pours a little bit of you for you first, and you do the whole smell and the sip, and you go, "Yes, thank you." Taste it. Do the whole fancy stuff. Yep, did all that.
Yes.
Absolutely delicious. But I've never seen this before, Josh. What he did was he got the cork out and he put the cork and squeezed the cork into the actual lid of the bottle and then placed it right at the base of the bottle on the table. So with the label side up so that you can see exactly the brand label of the cork. And then obviously you can smell the cork. You can see that whatever you want to. So I'm like, it's just the little things like that make it actually quite fancy. So this one here, there's 2 different tasting menus they have. They have a premium tasting menu, which was $75 a person, and that was 4 courses in total with different options. Josh, I wanted fancier. I wanted more than that.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
You only turned 50 once.
Exactly. Because what they had the chef's grand tasting menu.
Okay. Tell me about
You
it.
do not
sounds delicious.
You do not pick anything. The chef has done it all for you.
Oh, they bring you the best.
They bring you the best of what they've found at local produce markets during that day. You see, so it comes out. It's an 8-course seasonal menu, handcrafted by the chefs. These chefs are Jim and Chu Rain. Their names are. Fresh local ingredients with now you can get with wine pairings as well. I didn't because I already had the bottle of wine. But when they came out, these meals, they come out with smaller portions, which is really nice and really handy. Starting off with different types. So you got some seafood involved. You had some pasta dishes. You had a meat dish. You had some lamb dishes as well. And then it came out with a dessert at the end, and it's like a sorbet with a raspberry jus on top. Like, oh, Josh, I'm talking. The flavors that they combined, that when you ate the individual pieces, for instance, the lamb, you ate the lamb by itself and you went, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. But if you combine every flavor that's on that lamb plate at the time, it really accentuates the flavor of the lamb, and then all the other flavors come involved. And you can see how the flavor profile that they make on the plate, it literally hugs each other in your mouth, and you go, this is what I needed. So yeah, the chef's grand tasting menu, a bit more pricey, $150 per person. So it's a little bit more pricey, but
it's your birthday. It's not bad.
It's not bad. It isn't bad. So you can get away if you got a table for two, for instance, with a nice bottle of wine and the tip included as well. It's about $500 for the night. So a bit pricey, but as I said, it's worth it.
It's not every day.
No, definitely not every day. Definitely not every day, but 100% worth it. The Crossing in St. Louis, it's called. So, and as I said, it was a little thing. My birthday card. So I took my birthday card. I took it.
I like that. So you told them it was your birthday. Well, when they ask you, is it like a special occasion? Or?
Yeah, well, in their website, when you actually book your table and stuff as well, you've actually got there's places where you fill out different things. Yeah, so you fill out like your age, what are you celebrating, all that sort of stuff too. So I filled all that in prior to and went from there. So that's really cool. So that was my St. Louis trip, Josh. So very cool indeed.
You missed one thing, Greg.
Oh, I did. What did I miss?
You missed something. I mean, all the ChatGPT did you well. Mm-hmm. It sounds great.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I had a lot of fun doing with Tammy when I went, and a couple other friends I went, was the St. Louis official Budweiser tour. No. So this is a big location where it is a huge, you talk about the little craft breweries. This is not craft brewery. This is the factory. Oh. This is Willy Wonka's beer factory, basically. And they have the Budweiser tour in St. Louis. They have several different tours. They have the Fresh tour, which is 75 minutes. And it's kind of like the regular overview one. There's a Beer Master tour that has 150 minutes. It has behind the scenes access to some of their very, like, if you're like a beer nerd, you do the Beer Master tour. Or Craig, there is the Clydesdale VIP experience. You know what the Clydesdales are?
The horse. Yeah.
They're the horse.
Yeah, the horses.
They have the Clydesdale horses on site at this brewery, so you can check out. Well, you can see the Clydesdales, I think, at all of them, but this one's just special. Like, if you're like a horse nerd / beer nerd, like, that's the one for you. So there's a beer school. I mean, this is like kind of like a mecca for if you really want to get an amazing brewery tour. It's really, really interesting. And of course, there's a huge beer garden at the end with unlimited tastings. Well, maybe not unlimited. But that is in St. Louis, which is one of the other things that you want to hit. If you're 21 and over, you can't even visit if you're not 21 and over or over. And also, St. Louis is also known for barbecue. So there's many good barbecue places in the St. Louis area. So that would be another one of my recommendations if you're in St. Louis. So make sure you find maybe a barbecue place.
But did have a barbecue for one of the lunches. I found a little barbecue spot that wasn't ChatGPT related. They didn't give me the barbecue place, so I did it myself as well. So that was really cool. And one other place as well for breakfast or brunch is the biscuit joint, it's called. And so it's like an upper end Waffle House, because they're cooking everything in front of you, and you sit around the bar area, and but most of it is all on biscuits, and you have different types of gravies. You got 5 or 6 different types of gravies you can have. You can have different types of eggs on top as well. So you can have like the runny oak eggs. So you crack the runny oaks and mix that with the runny oak with the gravy into the biscuits. Oh, yeah. And they do tater tots. And the tater tots are all loaded with different types of gravies and stuff as well, and cheeses and whatnot too. So, yeah. The biscuit joint, it's called too. So,
if this podcast hasn't made you hungry, I don't know when you're listening to it. But
if you're on your way to work now, you're probably already eating your lunch in your car. So
probably. No, I'm just going to say this as we sort of wrap up with St. Louis. St. Louis is one of those towns that people don't think about. Oh, I'm going to take a trip there, or I'm going to take a long weekend. It's very similar to like some of those maybe underrated cities like Cleveland, like we visited, or Cincinnati. I would say St. Louis is maybe one of those, and St. Louis is one of those. This is my experience. It's kind of like one of those drive-through cities. It's just like, oh, I got to get through St. Louis, because you're always kind of go through it on the way to somewhere. And I hope this podcast maybe gave you some inspiration to maybe spend at least one night there, visit the City Museum, do the Arch, Budweiser tour, get some barbecue, slow down, people, slow down, and explore a city that might be a bit surprising to you. And I think St. Louis is one of those ones,
absolutely,
cities that could be surprising.
Absolutely. And because you think about it, you drive through and you look and go, oh, look at that arch. Yeah, okay, I've seen it now. And keep driving. Stop.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Not the same. It's not the same when you're actually inside going up this absolutely masterful elevators that they've created, / washing machines / dryers. And
it's an experience of itself.
It is. That's an experience in itself as well. Just literally getting into something that was created by an architect with a masterpiece in order for it to work properly like it does. So that's really cool. It's
kind of like a modern wonder of the world. I think. I don't know if it's actually on that list, but it is. It's a really amazing monument. And I think we forgot to say this. It's right on the river. So once you're up there, the views you get the view of the Mississippi River. It's like it's right there. So even when you're out there, I believe like the paddle boat area and stuff is right pretty close to that. It's all in that same area. It's just a neat place to explore.
Exactly. Even
if you're not going up there, which you should.
And I will say a big tip as well, and this is, if you want to find easy parking, you go park near the paddle boat areas. During the day, it is $10, but it's $10 for the entire day. You drive down and around, you park on the Mississippi River itself. There's plenty of parking down there, near there, and you literally walk up the hill. It's a couple of steps to walk up the hill, and straight away, you're under the arch. You're under the arch itself. Yeah. You can spend the whole day wandering around that city from that location, and then walk back to your car for $10. It's a beautiful place to sort of park your car, and I even got a photo from the top of Tuesday. My van, she was parked down the bottom as well, and I had a nice little close up. You could see her solar panels on her roof, and so I waved to her. From the top. It's really cool.
I remember that. I remember for some reason I remember parking too, because I remember where I parked, it was like right next to the river. Like there was water, like almost. It's not like a drop off. No. It's like it's like a easement. Slow easement of like concrete that leads up. So you can park literally the river is right there. It's not like a drop off into the river.
Exactly. You got to be careful. You can't, if it's low tide or whatever, the river does rise. The river does rise. So you got to be careful.
Goodbye Tuesday.
Hello Wednesday. That's right. But anyway, very cool. So definitely stop, people, and experience these towns / cities that you probably wouldn't stop at. So exactly.
Yeah, and if I lived there, Craig, I would be proud of my town, and that's a damn rare thing these days.
Yeah, and you get somewhere.
Right.
You'd be proud of the museum. That's
Speaking
what you'd be proud
of that. Yeah, I know that museum is awesome. Speaking of being proud of your town, a little bit of an update. I think 3 episodes ago, I was like, we're putting together some treasures of our town merch, some toot merch. If you don't get that, that's our acronym. Toot.
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 Treasures of our town. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Craig, I have it's a really cool logo. I've shared it with you. The people have not seen it. It's really cool. Yeah. I'm very proud of this logo. And it's kind of like how do I say it? It's a little bit of an Easter egg logo, kind of.
Yes.
Anyway, Well, I submitted to my t-shirt people, my t-shirt company, which is actually Teespring.
Yep.
And it was I did it back in February, Craig, and it's gotten stuck. It's like stuck in production.
What?
I keep checking on it. I'm like, I ordered this thing. I wanted to order samples before I would put it out there for the public because I want to do a quality check, right?
Absolutely.
And it's stuck. I've messaged them several times, and I literally threatened them. I said, if I don't get these shirts, I'm going to move on to another. Let's be honest. There's lots of shirt companies.
Yeah.
So people, be patient. It's going to be there. My hope, Craig, my hope is that it will be ready to go, ready to purchase a couple weeks before Geo Woodstock, because I would love for people to buy those shirts and wear them on the day of Geo Woodstock. And if you do, we're going to figure out something. We're going to give you a good prize. Something. I don't know what it is. But it's going to be a good prize if you buy the Treasures of Our Town shirt and wear it. Wear it during the Saturday Giga event. We'll be wearing them as well. So be patient, folks. They're coming. Patrons will be the first to know when they're ready to go. I will post it on our Patreon.
And I will say this as well. I got this from the good old GCPC, and that is all patrons, Josh, as well, will have a discount code if issued to them whereby they get it at cost price as well. So patrons will get the merchandise at cost price. I don't think we've even discussed that yet, Josh. I'm just laying it on you now. So...
Yeah, there's a way.
Yep.
There's a way for people to get it at cost. I've done it with my patrons as well. So there'll be a code for that.
Yep, exactly.
And also, speaking of Geo Woodstock, it is coming up. It is like 6 weeks away, less than 50 days. We're 50 days. I want to remind everybody that we will be on stage recording a live podcast of Treasures of Our Town. I believe at noon. Is it noon or 12:15? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's at noon or 12. You get there for noon. Get your seats for noon. Sit down, grab your lunch. Come sit down, watch itself, and listen. And make sure you open up your phone Adventure Lab app because we'll have a very special Adventure Lab just for those live listeners. And then after that happens, we switch it off. After we end our podcast, we switch off the Adventure Lab. So if you want a nice little 5-stage Adventure Lab while sitting listening to us, make sure you join us, Josh, on the main stage from around noon or midday, as we say, as well. I say.
And you want to get there early because I don't know what the seating is going to be like, but get there early. And I look at the schedule. I'm really proud of our podcast, Craig, because we get 45 minutes. A lot of the speakers only get 15 minutes.
Exactly.
So
no, they're giving us that as well.
Thank you, Geo Woodstock. We will be as entertaining as you know what. And here's another new announcement. You ready for this?
Yes.
You ready for this? If you're attending Geo Woodstock, make sure you go to Midnight Madness, which is the event after.
Yes.
Because Craig and I will be competing in lackeys versus influencers. Geocaching Family Feud.
Yes.
You will get to watch us take down the people that work at geocaching.com. I have a hunch that we might know. We know a lot, Craig.
We do. We do. And you got to remember, Josh, I used to host, the quizzes.
Trivia.
The geocaching trivia.
Oh, yeah, you know.
So I'm going to brush up there, Josh. I'm going to brush up.
Yeah. You know they're going to put some ringers in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like the ringers are going to be like Annie Love's. Annie Love's going to be in there. She's worked there for like 20 years. Brian Roth is going to be there, the president. But how awesome. Yeah. How awesome, Craig, if we take them down.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that would be the highlight of my geocaching career so far. I'll be honest with you. So
yeah. So we're talking smack right now. Geocaching. There is an official geocaching podcast, an HQ podcast. So yeah, I wonder if Rock Chalk might be on it too.
Maybe.
He's the host of that podcast as well. So anyway, come to that. That'll be very entertaining. Midnight Madness is a kind of a coin path tag trading event.
Yeah, it is.
After the big mega and. There'll be a lot of path tag trading. Speaking of path tags, holy cow. I don't want to get into too much in the weeds, but have you been seeing like the scare we have with the tariffs and stuff like that? That path tags are.
Oh yes, I know.
Really expensive.
I'm happy.
And it's going to be tough for people to produce.
I'm happy though, Josh. I got my new path tags, which you gave to me as well, because I got them delivered to you. So thank you for that. It's my new ambassador, because I'm a proud ambassador of G Woodstock. So I got ambassador tags made up.
That's cool.
They were still very expensive back then as well, and
but now.
Yeah, I know.
Going to be like 3 times maybe,
so,
depending what happens.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Exactly.
Who knows? But still, it'll be fun.
It will be. It will be.
And even if you don't have path tags, come and watch us take down the laggards.
Exactly. But speaking of the merch, Josh, as well, and just saying before about patrons can get a discount for our merch coming up. If you want to become a patron before that happens, then how do they do that, Josh?
Yeah, you can support us at patreon.com, Treasures of Our Town. I'm sorry, I'll say it again, patreon.com / Treasures of Our Town. It is there that we have all our golden nuggets. We have behind the scenes stuff. We have we're going to have discounts on our shirts, merch. You're going to get news before anybody else, and you can feel good in your heart for supporting a podcast that actually we need you.
Yeah, we do.
This is not a for-profit venture.
No,
this is a service to the world, the geocaching community, and beyond.
Exactly.
To help people explore different places that maybe they haven't visited before, or other travel-related items.
Exactly.
So consider joining us on Patreon. We really appreciate the support.
We absolutely do. But otherwise, Josh, how can other people contact us if they wish to contact us with ideas?
Yes, feel free to reach out to us at treasuresofourtownpodcast@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Or if you search Treasures of Our Town in Google, it'll go to our Buzzsprout site, and then right there you can put a message in right there, and we'll get the message. Just make sure you tell us who you are when you do
because it doesn't come up as to who you are, and it's just a random message from an unknown person, so that's really cool. So Josh, that's it for our show today. Please subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting app, and as always,
may your travels always lead you to the most unexpected and amazing hidden gems like St. Louis. And we'll see you next time when we meet you in St. Louis. Meet you in St. Louis. Meet you in St. Louis.
Bye.
Bye.